Alright, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, call Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, giving all praise to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of the Son, Yahushai. Alright, call Halayim La Yahweh, Alahai Now Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, which means all praises to our power, the Most High Yahweh, in the name of His Son. Alright, Shalom, Mabarakim, Labakan Shayasha Allah, Washan Kabad, Gawala Wakwab, Zaponim Nawa, Wahashala Yakim Nawa, Shayasha Allah Ba'ai. Alright, that's Hebrew that I just spoke, and that was peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans. Alright, peace and blessings be upon you, the Bakari Mashapaka, the elect family, and double honors to our elders and apostles in these times, known as Great Millstone. Alright, so from the title you can see it says the smith that bloweth the coal in the fire. And I'm going to get right into this because our prophecy is going down right now. Everything centers these scriptures. Alright, everything centers these scriptures. Okay, everything that's going on right now on the earth, alright, it can be centered around these scriptures. And the main thing I want to focus on is on the nuclear missiles, just missiles in general, that technology and that engineering. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the engineering and start naming scientists and how they're doing it, but I am going to bring out the prophecies on how they are described, alright, and this is going to be, and I'm going to go into some of the Hebrew words of these basic precepts that we know so we can get more understanding. Alright, now I only had one precept on deck, which where I got this precept from, but the spirit will go in other places because I know other ones. Alright, so I'm just going to start here where I got this title from. Hey, Shalom, Shalom to all the elect that will be tuning in. Alright, so this is Isaiah or Yeshaya, which means saved of the Most High. Alright, Yeshaya or Isaiah 54 and verse 17 or 16. Alright, it says, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. Alright, now let's look up that word smith. I want to look up that word smith. We know that's talking about the scientists, alright, because in the ancient times, you had a smith would be the person, making the swords and the weaponry for the battle, So your modern day smiths today are going to be your scientists, your engineers, alright, and the weapons that they make are the missiles. And I'm going to get the description of these in the scriptures, but I want to get this Hebrew word, alright, it's charash, a cha, a ra, and a shah. Alright, and it's harash. It says craftsman, artisan, engraver, artificer, skillful to destroy. Alright, and right now you're seeing this in the mainstream media. Alright, you're seeing it in the mainstream media. These missiles are flying around right now. Trump is using his power. The UK and France, okay, are also using their power. Alright, so it's going down right now. Alright, this prophecy in Isaiah 54 and 16 is coming to pass. Alright? And this is going on, man. This is popping right now. This is what's lit, if you will, so Jake can understand. Alright, and these missiles are gonna light places up. You can see the footage from the airstrikes in Syria, and you can see the sky lit up, man. Alright, and it's gonna get worse. Now, there's a lot of conflicting news articles coming out about Russia's missile defense system, or how the missiles didn't enter into there. But when you read other articles and stuff that brothers been sending out, and we've been reading and following, because we are watchmen, Russia's mobile defense system is mobile, So those missiles might have entered their air defense system, which means what? Russia's going to be on a higher alert, and Russia has a lot of Smiths too. All right, they have a lot of nuclear weapons. Now, let me get Psalms. Let me go to Psalms real quick and pull this other precept. This is Psalms chapter 7, verse I'm gonna start at 11. All right, Psalm 7 and 11. It says, "The power, all right, or the Most High judgeth Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry, or the power is angry with the wicked every day." All right, that's why you see all this stuff is happening to America. All right, all this stuff, its infrastructure is crumbling. It's having societal problems. All right, and it's breaking down from the inside out, and it's beautiful. Okay. All right, because the wicked is the Edomites. The wicked are the Edomites according to the scriptures. Another reason why I wanted to do this video too, at camp yesterday, we had an Edomite come by who was, I guess he was protesting. He had one of them big signs, and it says science is humanity's best invention. So when I saw it, I stopped him. I said, hey, that sign is correct, and the best thing that they invented was the nuclear missiles. So then this cracker going to turn around and say, he gonna say, what did he say? He said, no, the best thing that science created or invented was the cure for polio. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? Well, what about AIDS? You know, the brother Kassab, the Shah Kassab, head brother Kassab said, what about AIDS? Who invented AIDS? He didn't want to touch that topic. He didn't want to touch the science on Planned Parenthood, how it attacks our people. He didn't want to talk about the science of genetically modifying foods, all right, which destroys our people as well. All right, he didn't want to address that. All right, now I was trying to get him to start talking about the nuclear missiles, but he wanted to stray away from it. Why? Because you Edomites know that that instrument was created for destruction, man. All right, and it's going to be your destruction. Psalm 7 and verse 12. It says, "If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready." Right, all these all these weapons are just waiting, man. Russia's waiting to launch their nuclear missiles. All right, and all these other countries that have nuclear capabilities, according to prophecy, they're all going to turn on the whore. All right, they're all going to turn on the great whore spoken of in Revelation. All right, let me just get there real quick, and then I'm gonna go back. Revelation, uh, let's see, Revelation 18 and 9. It says, let's talk about Babylon the Great, which is America. All right. And the kings of the earth, 18 and 9, Revelation. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, because this entire place is going to be set on fire. All these other countries, how have they slept with America? How have they had fornication with this place? They've taken on their philosophy, all right, their way of belief, and their money system, man. You know, China bought out, what was it 10 years ago, something like that. China bought out the U.S. debt. All right, so they're pissed off, man. That's why they had to create the what is it, the petro yuan, all right, which is going to cause inflation. That's why all these tariffs are going on and trade wars. All right, the last time this country went into a trade war, the Great Depression came and war broke out. But this time, when the war breaks out and the depression comes, they're going to implement something called the mark of the beast. All right, the RFID chip, an implantable chip in your hand. They're going to make you take it, and then the culmination of all that is going to lead up to this place burning with fire. It says, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city. All right, because this place was so-called great at one point in time. Everyone wanted to come here and live it up. Do as thou wilt, just like in ancient Rome. When in Rome, do as the Romans. It says, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Right, it's not going to take long for this place to get destroyed. Those ICBM missiles, when they exit the atmosphere and then they re-enter the atmosphere to hit their target, it takes about 20 minutes. All right, 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, in the technology, these Smiths are getting smarter and smarter, especially of Teman. All right, Teman is the descendant of Esau, and he's known as the wise men of Esau. All right, the wise men of Teman. Your modern day Germans. All right, and some of those scientists, man. All right. Psalm 7 and 13. It says, he hath also prepared for him. This is still talking about the wicked. All right. All right, because not only is America going to be set on fire, but these so-called Jews in Israel who are wreaking havoc on the earth, all right, in our land, fighting over our land and shedding blood in our land that's not theirs, that's the wicked. It says, he hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. All right, and those arrows, all right, are talking about those nuclear missiles. All right, it ain't talking about nothing else except for that. That's all it's talking about. Now let's get the descriptions of it. All right, and these are basic, but like I said, I want to get Hebrew. I want to try to look at the Hebrew because I always try to tie in the Hebrew with my videos. I know we look up words, you know. So this is Job. This is Job. All right, so Job Job was a prophet. All right, contrary to belief, people just read this book like it's a fairy tale. Job was a prophet, and he spoke about the nuclear missiles. All right, Salakia for the clock. This is Job 27 and 13. It says, this is the portion. Hold on. No, we want Job 20. Which that one's good too. You know, if the spirit will, I'll come back. Job 20. And I'm going to start at, well, I'm going to go straight to the point. Job 20 and 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So rain, when something is rained upon someone, that means it's coming down from the sky, right? That's exactly what the missiles do. It's that basic. It's that simple. All right, and that's part of the simplicity of Yahweh Shai, because the spirit of Yahweh Shai, the testimony of who the world calls Jesus Christ, is the spirit of prophecy, and that's how we understand these simple basic scriptures. All right. Now it said, and right now he is about to fill his belly because Trump, he thinks that these tariffs are going to strengthen the U.S. economy. Well, he thinks that it's going to boost this place, you know, that it's going to uplift it, you know, give it a charge like Nas on a whip, you know. He's going to hit that Nas button, and it's still going to be going the same speed, man. Ain't no Nas left in the tank for America. All right. Your belly has been filled already. You're not going to fill it no more. All right. And the culmination of that fulfillment is them trying to institute something called the New World Order. All right. They're going to create a chaos, and then they're going to try and institute their New World Order by also implementing this chip. All right. But the missiles are going to stop all that. Job 20 and 24. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. All right, now back in ancient times, this has to be talking about the missiles, because back in ancient times, when people carry bow and arrows, all right, it wouldn't make sense for it to be iron. It would be too heavy. All right, usually it was wooden, all right, with the metal tips, iron tips. So this has to be talking about the missiles. I'm gonna read it again. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Now you have a bow and you have an arrow, right? Now people will say, well, no, the bow of steel is talking about the actual bow. You know, the bow, the U with the string on it that you hold. Well, you don't strike people through with your bow. You strike people with the arrow that you shoot from the bow. All right. And that arrow, all right, that's going to be shot are the nuclear missiles, the ICBM missiles that the Smiths are blowing in the fire right now. It says, verse 25, it is drawn, it cometh out of the body. The body represents what's housing those missiles. You have silos, underground silos. You have you got submarines. You got 18-wheelers. You got trucks, trains. All right, then they have some are attached to what you call airplanes. Also, they say they got some satellites that have some attached to them. I don't know how true it is, but I wouldn't doubt it, you know. And all these warheads are going to strike this place. All right, it says it is drawn and come out of the body. Yea, the glistering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Now I want to look up the word gall. All right, I want to look up this Hebrew word for gall. And we at Job 20, and that's 25. All right, which Job's name means persecuted. I think it's Awayaba, if I'm not mistaken, or Awayab. or something to that effect. Awayab. All right, so we at Job 20, and we're gonna go to 25. All right, his gall. All right, because it said it's gonna come out of his gall, and gall is marara. All right, or marara means the bitter gall poisoning venom bitter, right, like marar, the Hebrew word for marar. All right, so it's gonna come from a bitter place. That's what it's saying. Now let's look up body. Let's see what it says. It's probably gonna say atazam. I think that's the Hebrew word for body. um no, this one is gawa. All right, it says they come out of his body. Gawa, it says out of the back or the behind. All right, now there's a root word. Let's click on gawa, because you have a ga, a wa, and a ha is the first one. The root is ga and wa. Right. It says the back, the mist, which means between. All right, and it says, and then it's from two different words, ga'a and gab. All right, and ga'a, a ga, a, and a ha, if you can see it. All right, you should be following along. Lord willing, y'all following along. Okay. It says to rise up, go up, to be exalted, to triumph, to lift up, to be raised up, and that's what the missiles are going to do. When they drop, the land, it creates it creates a crater. The ground raises up. All right, and then you see the huge mushroom cloud raise up too. When the missiles get shot too, what do? They raise up. They come up out of the body. All right, just like the scripture said. Okay. Now I'm gonna get a couple more precepts. Okay, and then I'm gonna conclude this, because it only takes so many precepts. I just want to bring this out, because this is the more that we bring out these prophecies about the missiles and destruction, that spirit gets pushed out into the earth, whether we want to believe it or not. All right, which we believe it. We do believe it. That's why we make these videos and we have faith in these things. All right. Now there's some more description about the missiles. Let me get Zechariah 14. All right. Zechariah 14 and 12. It says the prophet Zechariah, which means remembered of the Most High, all right, or the Most High has remembered. All right. Yeah, the Most High remembers. Zechariah. All right, and I think I can just on the side note, I should do this, man. You should take the time and go look up all the prophets' names, and if you got room, write the meaning of their name in your scriptures. Start getting in the habit of that. And when you look up words, all right, write the meaning of the word in your scripture. Like here, I have okay, so this is pertaining to Joshua or Zechariah, the 3rd chapter. So when it says in the 5th verse, where it says fair, place a fair mitri upon his head, I'll put a number 1 there, right? And then at the top, you write the definition of what it is. So fair means tahar, which means pure or clean, all right? Or physically and spiritually. So that's just a tidbit. Akim should be doing that, man. Help you study, help you remember things better. Hey, we're in the book of the Most High remembers. All right, so Zechariah, the prophet, Zechariah 14 and 12, it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now, what has the power to do that? Back in Zechariah's time, this didn't happen. They weren't walking around with flamethrowers lighting people up. Okay? Even if you dipped the arrow in some tar and lit it on fire and shot it at somebody, that's not going to consume somebody while they're on their feet. First of all, the person's going to drop to the ground, and then they'll be consumed. All right? And then they'll be consumed. So this is talking about the missiles. And did you see what it said in the beginning? The Lord's doing all this. All right, it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite Yahweh Shema Shah, Kodash will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. All this turmoil and these missiles have been created. Why? All right, to destroy all those that fought against Jerusalem, which you have a great amount of people. I wouldn't be surprised if if a lot of the past Roman emperors, all right, Persian emperors, Babylonian rulers and kings and stuff like that, and that had us in hardcore slavery, are reincarnated and living here in America right now. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are here, because a lot of them ordered the sanctions for us to get taken down, hired the mercenaries for us to get taken down. So it's not hard to fathom that they've been reincarnated and they out here owning multiple franchises of businesses in the ghettos, you know, and treating our people poorly. All right, I would not be surprised. Okay. And that's talking about the missiles. The only thing that's going to consume your flesh while you stand upon the feet is nuclear fire. All right, that wave of fire that's going to sweep through and burn all the people up in this place. That's why we do this work, man, because we don't want to be a part of that. All right. Now I'm gonna get the prophet Shemaiwan. All right. I'm gonna get the prophet Shemaiwan. Okay. I'm gonna get Shemaiwan chapter 2. All right. This is I'm sorry. Shemaiwan chapter second Shemaiwan chapter 3. All right. Second Peter. If you didn't know, Peter's name, Peter's Hebrew name is Shemaiwan. All right. This is Second Shemaiwan chapter 3 and verse. Checking chapter 3, verse 7. Yeah. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, remember, this ain't no fairy tale, man. You apply this to right now. Everything you read, apply it to what's going on in your life right now, what's going on in the world right now. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire. The Lord's telling us, all right, that this atmosphere, these heavens that we can see, okay, they're being preserved for fire. All right, here in America and in Israel, the land of Israel, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men, the destruction of ungodly men, like Trump and his minions, these elites and their minions. All right, here in America and across the four winds, because there's going to be other parts of the earth, of course, that get hit with missiles. All right, but nuclear missiles and warheads, those are all going to be exhausted right here in America. All right, because Trump's not dropping nuclear missiles in Syria. He wouldn't dare do that. But he is going to use the bunker busters. All right, and I think the brother sent out a picture. Each one of those missiles costs around $800,000, man. All right, and they got a lot of them motherfuckers, man. All right. Now, but specifically, I'm talking about the nuclear missiles that are destined for America's destruction. Verse 8. But beloved, all right, which beloved is the house of David. David's name Dawada means beloved. So, but beloved, the elect, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. All right, so we got to be patient, man. We got to suffer, all right, and be patient. It says the Lord is not slack concerning his promise. What is his promise? The promise, he made a promise with Zechariah. We read it. He made a promise with Isaiah, and we read it. And it was what? That he's going to destroy our enemies by way of fire and nuclear missiles. That's part of the promise. Of course, along with salvation, all right, and having the law, statutes, commandments written in our heart. But there are other promises that are in oaths that are made with the nation of Israel concerning our enemies in relation to us, man. All right. It says, as some men count slackness. Right. You got some guys out there that just they don't want to do videos. They don't want to go out on the highways and byways. All right. Or they want to do videos. They want to go about highways and byways, but they ain't talking about prophecy. All they do is talk about us. You know. They don't want this place to be destroyed. They don't want to talk about America being destroyed. They don't want to talk about these scientists or the Edomites that are doing these wicked things behind closed doors. All right. All they want to do is get on us. Why? Because they're being slack. All right. The way that you stay diligent is by watching what's going on. Then the Lord told us to stand upon our watch. All right. It says, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Right, because Shemaiwan or Peter also had love for the nation of Israel, you know. It's not like we just straight up hate our people for no reason. We got a legit reason why we hate 2/3, man. You know, if the Lord said that He would deliver all of Israel, then that's what it would be. But He's not going to do that. All right, 2/3, you're going to get caught up in what these Smiths have prepared. All right, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. 2/3 means 66% of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those of confused faces are going to get destroyed. All right, you are the Israelites. All right, and it says, verse 10, but that day will come, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens, all right, so we all know that the Lord is going to come back in a thief in the night, but now we're getting a description of what it's going to be like when that thief comes back. All right, it says, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. The heavens are going to disappear with a great noise. It's going to be loud. Your eardrums are going to bust. It says the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. And there's a lot of wicked works in this place that need to be burnt up, man. There's a lot of stuff that needs to come to a complete halt by nuclear fire. All right? And when the missile drops, you know, just, I know for here, they said there was a show on History Channel about how, what would happen if DC got hit with the nuclear missile. All right, well, let me tell you what they said on this show. And this was back in 2012, 2011, because I didn't see it till after I came into the truth. All right, a couple years after that. And they said if a missile dropped in DC, all right, everybody on 495, the beltway that surrounds DC, all right, the radiation wave, the blast will break all the windows. Everybody would go blind. They would lose their hearing and start bleeding out of their ears. They'd still be alive, all right, but that's the effect of the people that aren't even in DC, all right, because around 495 goes around the DMV. It touches Virginia, all right, and it touches the Maryland side, all right. What else did they say? Oh, they said the blast radius, all right, would be about well, they said about between 5 and 10 miles or something to that effect, all right, of fire. Now DC is only, I think it's only what, 19 square miles or some shit like that. You know, by the way it is, you got Southern Ave, and then you got Georgia. You know, those are only so many miles. When you multiply those dimensions, I think it's like 19 or 20 square miles or some shit like that. All right, DC is not that big, you know, and I believe through the Spirit that they already these devils got pocket nukes as well, surrounded the city and all the major cities where the work is being brought out at here in Babylon. All right. But I don't want to stray too far. I want to get a couple more scriptures and I want to wrap this up. I want to get the description of the mushroom cloud that you see when missiles drop. All right. This again, the Smiths are the scientists in Isaiah 54 and 16. Ain't no way around that jump. All right, that precept, Salakia, that paquad in the Hebrew, that precept. Isaiah 30. Bathed in heaven. Okay, Isaiah 34, and then I also want to hold the one in Revelation because people say, well, that's the Old Testament, you know. All right, well, guess what? What you're gonna find out is that all the prophets and the apostles and the disciples, a lot of them received the same exact vision. All right, they saw the missiles. All right, and they wrote it down to the best of their ability, so that in these times we could say, hey, he must have been seeing this, all right, or he must have been seeing that, or he must have been speaking about this, you know. So, all right, so let's get these. This is, we're gonna go Isaiah, and then we're gonna jump to Yakanan, which means John. All right, this is Yeshaya 34 in verse. I gotta start at 1. Isaiah 34 and 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, meaning Shema, and hearken, ye people. So this word, people ask, well, is this word for everybody, or How come you only want these type of people to be saved and this, that, and the third? Really, this word is to everybody. All right. Now, the part of the word about salvation and mercy is only for a select amount of people, but everybody gonna get it. When the prophets went out on the highways and byways and spoke, all right, they went. Usually, we were always in captivity, first of all, so everybody got it. You know, everybody got the word of the Lord. All right, because everybody was going to get judged. All right, and everybody will be judged. All right, according to your works. That's what. Hey, that's why we in these scriptures, man. All right, it says, "Let the earth hear." All right, which that should be Thabal or Aratazah, because Aratazah means the land, and then you have Thabal, which means the entire planet, because Aratazah, you have Aratazah, and then you have Mayam, which means the waters. You have the land and the water, but Thabal is those two together, which means the entire planet. And I believe, you know what? Let me look this up. I don't want to just be saying stuff. It's probably Aratazah, but I'm gonna look it up. But the difference between, like I said, the difference between Aratazah and Thabal, one is land and the other one means like the actual planet Earth. All right. It says, "Let the earth hear." Let's see what it's gonna say. It says, "Korab Gawayam La Shamai Wala Amaryam Hakwashayab." Hold on. Mr. Aratazah? Okay. Thashemai, which means thou hear. Ha Aratazah. Right, so it's Ha Aratazah, which means the land. Alright? Bet. So let's continue on. Slot. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth. For the indignation, which means the righteous anger of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Lord, is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. All right, right. That's why the Middle East, there ain't gonna be no peace in the Middle East. You can protest all you want here in America and the States and say that you hate Trump. All right, Alex Jones, you can curse as loud as you want and get upset as you want, but guess what? The missile strikes are going to increase. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep sending a barrage of missiles. I wouldn't be surprised if missiles is dropping right now. All right. It says, "He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter," which that's about to come to pass very soon. All right. It says, "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." Now you got to ask yourself, in these days, what can melt a mountain? Seriously, first of all, what can melt a rock? You know, a boulder the size of your house. What's going to melt that? What has the capability of doing that? It has to be nuclear. All right, it has to be some type of fire. All right, that's been man-made. All right, to do this. And you can go on YouTube and watch the videos of missiles dropping and what they do to places. That's the only thing that's going to make a mountain melt, with people's blood. It says, verse 4, "And all the host of heaven," all right, now here we see Shemaiwan is seeing what Yeshaya saw. All right, it says Peter seeing what Isaiah saw. "And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." Right, now didn't Peter say that the heavens were going to depart and the elements were going to be melted with fervent heat? They're basically saying the same thing. Okay, it says, "And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." And that's what that mushroom cloud is. Now, we had this dude out yesterday. He said, "No, that looks like a donut." No, it looks like a scroll. If you took a scroll and you bent it and you connected it, and that looks like a scroll that's being rolled up. All right, like if you take a sock and you cut off the end of the sock and you roll it up, it looks like a scroll being rolled. All right. Now it says, "And all their host shall fall down as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as a fig from the fig tree." It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven." That sword is the nuclear missiles. All right. I can't say it enough. It's the intercontinental ballistic missiles. And it shall come down upon Idumea, which is Adawam, in there, the Edomites, the so-called white man. All right, where is his supreme empire located? It's located right here. All right. It says, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So this place is cursed, man. America's cursed. There's no reversing it. All right. There's no turning around and apologizing. Which, if you do that, if this place turns and face the east and apologizes for everything that it did, let me show you what the Lord's going to do. Let me show you what the Lord's going to do if you try to apologize for what you did to us. All right. Joel 3 and verse 4, it says, Ye, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? All right, now let's take this for what it's saying right now. Where is Tyre and Zidon located? It's located on the Mediterranean Sea, on the sea coast of Israel. Who's located in that land? All right, it's our worst enemy, the Edomites, man. You Amalekites, you Khazars, man. You Ashkenazi Jews, you fake Jews. All right, and your people financed our hardships, our slavery, and all the wickedness that's going on the earth. Who else is there? You have the Arabs, the Palestinians, which you're not even the real Philistines. When you look at Palestine, that land belongs to those who live in Africa right now. So you have Ishmaelites and Edomites fighting over our land. And those Ishmaelites, they had part in our slavery too. They drug us from West Africa to East Africa, sold us to Cushites, who sold us to Japhites, sold us to Elamites, Moabites, man. All right? What have ye to do with us? That's what the Lord is saying. What have you to do with us? Will ye render me a recompense? Will you give him a payback for what you've done to us? It says, and if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Meaning the Lord's going to do exactly what he did, what you did to us, he's going to do it exactly to you. All right? That's why this place is cursed. They're not going to turn around and repent. They're not going to do that. If they do, they know what? The karma's going to come back, man. Because one way or another, across any belief out there in this world, I don't care what you believe, everybody believes in karma. What you put out, you're going to get back. And that's another thing. The guy out there yesterday who was protesting, he had a sign that said, science is humanity's best invention. I told him, well, don't you believe in karma? You know? Don't you believe every action has every action has a equal and opposite reaction or something to that effect? Okay? And he had nothing to say about that. All right? He had nothing to say about that, but judgment's coming, man. And science just simply means knowledge. All right? And meaning what you know, you die. All right? Now, right, we got Esau. This place is cursed. All right? Since I'm in Joel, let me hit this right quick. Joel 3 and 1. For behold, for behold, all right, Kaya Hana, or Haya, or Hana Kaya, which means behold for, or for behold, in those days, and in that time when I shall bring, you know what? After I finish Ezekiel 35th chapter in the Hebrew, I'm going to go through Joel, the 3rd chapter in the Hebrew. It says, for behold, in those days, in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, all right, which we still in captivity. The Israelites have not left captivity after Babylon. We've been in perpetual captivities ever since. And the dark ages don't count because we weren't calling ourselves Israelites, man. You had some of us that were calling them Covenanters and the Jacobites, but that was one sect. We talking about all of our people. Some of us were subjugated still. Some of us were in slavery, man. Some of us are still in slavery over in Africa, man. All right. It says, I also will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them for my people. Again, now you got Yahweh Allah, which is Joel. You got Yahweh Allah saying the same thing as Zechariah in 14 and 12. where he said, this is the plague that's going to smite the earth for all the people that fought against Jerusalem. The Lord's doing all this because of us. Whether you want to believe it or not, all the stuff that's going on, all the turmoil in the earth is going on because of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. As hard as that is to believe, as hard as you think we're scumbags and you hate us and we're the worst of society, it's all because of us. The Lord's doing it to plead our cause for what's been happening to us. All right? It says, and for my heritage Israel, Yasha Allah, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people. Those are the auctioning blocks. When you go to read Deuteronomy 28 in about 30 to 32 or so. And have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. All right, that's why the coals that the Smiths are blowing right now. Yeah, man, they're going to end up with America on fire, man. America's going to be fire. All right. Revelation 6 and 13. Shoot, before I get this, it just popped in my head. Let me get another Yeshaya's precept. Yeshaya 24. What was Yeshaya talking about in the 24th chapter? Isaiah 24 and verse 25 and 24 and 20. Isaiah 24 and verse 20. All right. Yeshaya 24 and 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So the only time the earth moves, and it doesn't move like a drunkard, is on its axis, and we don't feel it. But this is saying the earth shall reel, meaning the earth's going to rock. All right, it's going to be an earthquake. It's going to be a 7,777,000. All right, 777.777 on the Richter scale earthquake is going to rock the earth, man. All right, it might be bigger than that. You know, I probably didn't embellish enough. What is Isaiah talking about? He has to be talking about the missiles. What he spoke about in Isaiah 54 and 16 is connected to what he's saying here in Isaiah 24 and 20. All right? The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. It shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it's not. Nobody's gonna want to dwell here, all right, after this radiation hits and this place turns into a desert. All right? Revelation 6 and 13. And the stars of heaven fell to the earth. All right, speaking about these missiles. And as the fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. All right, and that wind is going to be a nuclear wind. And if you have a study Bible, when you're reading this, you can see that this precept in the margin is going to take you to Isaiah. All right, and the heaven departed as a scroll. And when it is rolled together, and every mountain and islands were moved out of their places. The only thing to do that are the smiths that blow up the coal in the fire. These scientists that have created these nuclear capabilities, man. All right, and the airstrikes are going to increase. They're going to increase in the Middle East. All right, we just waiting on the mind of Russia to man the hell up, man. Gird up thy loins like a man. The Lord's going to demand of you, man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to command of you. You know, we're just waiting for that hook to be turned back. You know, we're waiting for the Carmanians to rise up. Lord willing, some of these airstrikes start hitting the Iranian bases, because according to prophecy, that's the last straw, man. When you mess with Iran, all right, Russia's going to be that guard according to in the prophecy. They're going to be a guard unto them, man. You messing with their little brother, so to say, man. Which is not their little brother, but that in that instance, man, somebody were to mess with your little brother, you're gonna come after that man. All right, you want to try and take everything he has and kill that man. All right, so that's what Russia's gonna do. You messing with Russia's money. All right, you messing with the way they believe. You know, with the whole homosexuality thing. You know, they're gonna recall all these things are gonna be recalled to their mind. All right. Oh, one last scripture. And you Russians, you're Edomites too. You're not exempt. You're gonna go into slavery. Just because the Lord's using you to destroy this place, don't mean you just gonna sneak away into paradise. Second Ezra chapter 12, verse 28. It says, For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. Alright, so with that, call halal Yahweh Shema Shah. I pray some edification came out of this, and I know the elect was edified. Alright, Shalom, Mabarakim, Labakar, Shiasha Allah. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that tuned in. Double honors to our elders and apostles, the great millstone, Shenya Kabad, Gawala Rakwab, Zaquanium, Noah, Shal Wa Hashalayakim, Noah, Shal Yasha Allah, Ba'ait. Alright, that's double honors to our elders and apostles, known as great millstone in these times. Alright, Shalom, Shalom. Keep pushing that spirit of destruction, man. Alright, keep watching, keep warning.